Yo, what's good with y'all boys? It's your boy, another one time back with another video in stream, you know what I'm saying? Today, we are going to go over a little short video. It's only 8 minutes long. I may knock out 2 videos if I feel like it, but we're gonna go over how I go viral every time I post with a clothing brand step by step. Because it's 8 videos, I said 8 videos. 8 minutes. I'm gonna try to talk. I'm gonna try to talk mo. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to like actually, you know, say some stuff. But we just really watch it for real. But yeah, let's get into it.
Today I'm going to talk about something called content component optimization for clothing brands. And before we get into it, I want to say that this is a video about content that guarantees growth for your clothing brand. So if you're here to learn how to grow your clothing brand using social media content, then watch the entire video because you're going to need this. So in a piece of content for a clothing brand, what are the pieces involved? What are the components? There's the video itself. We also have the music. We have the thumbnail, and we have the overall message or the storyline. And you may find that there are other components involved, but for now, these are the main components we're going to go over, but the more you can list out, the better. But now we're going to go further into each component and break them down. So for example, in the video itself, you have the location, your background. Next is your props. Are you showcasing the product? Are you using unique elements to make it stand out? So we're going to use a piece of content from Mercha as an example to break this down for you. Now Mercha put out a video and it got 18 million views. And it's because they use this exact content component optimization system that we're about to talk about. So when they filmed their heat reactive puffer jacket, they went out into the mountains, which was their location. They used fire and water to actually test the jacket on camera, showing how it reacts to the conditions. And that made the content more engaging and product focused. Another component is the actors. These could be models, influencers, or just people wearing the product in a way that fits the brand's vibe and so forth. Now for the music. Music is important because it sets the vibe. You could have the beat matching the cuts in the video. You can include voiceovers and most importantly, sound effects. Now for storyline and thumbnail, we're going to get back to those, but those are also important. Another thing I do want to add in terms of components is the avatar. We can go into the outfit, hairstyle, makeup. All of that helps define the visual identity of your brand, but we'll get back to that in a few. So this is step 1, listing everything out. Now the second step is optimization. So the whole idea of content component optimization is about looking at every single part of your brand's content and asking how can we maximize the potential of this piece of content going viral by maximizing the virality of each single component. For example, using actors. How can you increase the virality with the people involved in the content? Using props, how can you make them more attention grabbing and involved with the actual product? Using your location or your background. How can you make it more unique or visually appealing? Now, because I've worked with hundreds of brands, I know for a fact that this is what the biggest brands in the world are doing when it comes to creating campaigns and content for their brand. They sit down and they plan out every single detail when it comes to their content. So if you're out here posting 10, 20, 30 pieces of content every single month and none of them are getting the numbers that you want, is it really a surprise to you? If you're not doing this, then that's your reason why. Most people get their camera, film their product, and expect it to go viral, but they're not sitting down and maximizing the potential of their content. So when the question comes up of how do I actually maximize virality, the answer is maximizing virality is maximizing talking points. Because when a lot of people are talking about something, that's when it takes off. That's when it goes viral. So again, we're going to circle back to Mercha's puffer or heat reactive video. That got 18 million views. I think combined they posted like 3 and it got around 50 million views in total. Now, whether you're into their style or not, you can't deny that they absolutely nailed this video idea. And marketing is simply just getting people to see your product, especially in the clothing industry and the fashion industry. It's about getting traction and making people talk. So let's break this down. If we go to the avatar, what were they wearing? The model was wearing the puffer jacket, obviously, but they layered it with some black pants. Now this was super clean and super intentional because they didn't want to take any shine away from the actual jacket, which was the star of the video. So it was supporting the jacket. It didn't distract, but it elevated the jacket. So in terms of the character and the appearance, they kept it super simple. It looked like someone who would wear the jacket. It was just raw and natural to keep the focus on the actual product. Now let's talk about the setting. They filmed this in the mountains, wide open spaces, snow, everything, but it wasn't a random choice. The environment amplified the durability message of the jacket, plus it created high contrast with the heat reactive colors popping against the natural background. Now the props is where it gets pretty cool. They use fire and water, literal elements, to show off the jacket's features. Fire brought out the heat reactive color changes and the water did as well. Now the heat reactive effect was a big contributor to the actual video going viral because it made people stop, rewatch it, and share it as well. As for the actors, it wasn't a huge production, Just a couple of people, one modeling the jacket, another helping with the fire and the water. It felt authentic, but it wasn't overproduced. And that made it relatable, but also impressive. The point is, every single component was optimized to spark conversation. People weren't just commenting about the jacket. They were talking about the fire, the mountain, the color changing effect. That's how you get people to stop scrolling, watch the full video, and talk about it. Now let's talk about the audio side of things. Even though Mercher didn't use any music, it did use sound effects, and they used them strategically. The sound of the fire, the water, all of these sounds made the video feel more immersive and more real. It wasn't just silent visuals. But regardless, let's talk about the music in short form content because it is super important. Now, when it's used right, it can be a complete game changer for you. The right music choice can make a product demo or product video feel cinematic, feel emotional, or it could even make your customers feel hype about the drop. Just think about how many TikToks go viral just because of the music attached to the video. So when you're choosing music for your clothing brand content, just ask yourself, does this fit the vibe of the actual video? Does it make someone want to stop scrolling? If it's about your product and you're showing off the details, then use the music and line it up with the cuts in your video. If it's storytelling content, you can use music to control the emotional flow. Now, another thing is that you don't need high production to create good content. Merch's video wasn't really high budget, but they maximized all of their components. And that's what makes a difference. It's not about fancy equipment. It's about the components. If you can hook people with the visual, the setting, the props, the product, and the audio, even if you film it on an iPhone, you can go viral. Let's take a look at Broken Planet, for example. A brand that manages to go viral multiple times a week. They don't rely on overly produced content, high budget content. In fact, their approach is completely the opposite. It's raw, it's real, and it's organic. For example, you'll often see them walking around different cities, filming themselves in real time, capturing the vibe that they're trying to portray, the lifestyle that they're trying to portray. It's not about the cool edits or having everything perfectly framed. It's about showing authenticity and connecting with their audience on a deeper level. And it works because people love that raw energy that they bring and that sense that they're just regular people in the Broken Planet clothing. When we talk about their avatar, they embraced a look that connects with their audience. It speaks to them. Their style, the way they walk around the city, how they interact with other people, it all feels genuine. It's not a perfect, polished influencer vibe. It's real people showing a lifestyle that resonates. And that's where the connection happens. And as for props, it's not super expensive. It's about everyday items that resonate with their audience. It could be them hanging out in the park, street food, or being with their friends in an urban setting. These little things bring their brand down to earth and make it a little bit more relatable for their audience. The location is another huge component for them. By walking around different cities, they give their audience a sense of place. And for their followers, these places feel authentic and something that they can relate to. It's not about trying to impress with them. It's about representing a culture and a lifestyle that their audience wants to be a part of. And they also capitalize on timing very well. The fact that they post super frequently keeps them at the forefront of their audience's mind. They don't let their content go stale. They keep it fresh, they keep it real, and they keep it aligned with what's happening current time. They're always on top of trends, and by doing that, they maximize their engagement because their content feels relevant in real time. Now, in terms of audio, they're always using the trending music and using music that aligns with the other components. Sometimes they even include some street noise and what's going on around them as well. And this gives it a deeper sense of realness that connects with the audience again. So the takeaway here in this video is to maximize your components. Don't overthink it. You don't need a high production video to go viral. If you can make your content authentic and relatable with your audience, then you're already halfway there. Broken Planet's success comes from their authenticity, their consistency, and having a story to tell. So if they can do it with organic content, so can you. Now, if you want to skip the struggle of having to figure out your content, then click the first link in the description if you want to work with us. We're only working with people who are serious about growing their brands. So only apply if you're serious, because it's guaranteed that you'll grow your brand with the system we place inside of your business. Now, other than that, I'll see y'all in the next video.
What's up, y'all?
Dang,
Jar here
bro.
back with
I ain't
another
even-
video, and in this video, I'll be
I didn't even say anything, but I think, well, I got a couple stuff I want to say. But nah, man, I ain't gonna lie, that was real. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had nothing to say to that. Like, all I could do is just sit there and just listen, and you know what I'm saying? Be like, damn, okay, I need to start doing it. And actually, so the last video we watched, I don't know if all y'all watched it. If not, you should watch it. It's about the fastest way to grow your clothing brand. And this is when Minda D, he talks about, posting, how, people will post 1 time, 2 times a day, whatever. And and that ain't none, you know what I'm saying? He talks about you need to really be posting like 10 times a day. You post 10 times a day for every month. That's 300 chances a month to go viral, right? So And I remember that last video I was saying that when you do that too, you need to make sure you're constantly improving, because the more you post, the more you do something, the better you're gonna get. So as long as you trying to improve, while you sitting there posting, you finna improve. You know what I'm saying? So I think what he said is real, low key. And I feel like that's why, now I think about it, that's probably why my first drop failed, because I didn't post enough content for it. You know what I'm saying? I sat there, I posted a couple, like I went, ATL, made a couple stuff, and I only posted a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really I didn't really sit down and really make content to post like 10 times. I didn't post 10 times a day and all that, this and that. You know what I'm saying? Which I should have. I really should have. So now this drop, I know I'm gonna make my little accounts, and I'm gonna really start posting on 3 different accounts, three times in one day on each account. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, shoot, if you add these and he was also talking about how you, like, there's B-roll footage, like there's main footage and B-roll footage. So the main footage would be like basically like that video idea the dude showed. It would be stuff like that, right? So your main videos you'll post, and then like the just regular posted videos will be like B-roll footage, where you'll, like, let's say you get a model and and you just have them, you just take photos of them and take videos of them moving around or whatever, and then just make random videos with that footage every day. You know what I'm saying? And then like the main footage is what you really put your mind into, like, okay, like an actual cinematic or whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't think about that. Like, it's kind of like, and then if you see this dude on the screen, it's like if you take when I was watching his video on the marketing and stuff like that, like making 50K, he was talking about a low intent and high intent products. I mean, sorry, marketing like videos. So I'm like, okay, boom. Low intent should be constantly posted over and over and over, and on the back lines, the high intent content should be coming in. You know what I'm saying? And I never really thought about it like that. Like, but when watching these videos and kind of picking, little small things, I'm kind of seeing that. So I'm definitely gonna be making a diagram of my own. Like, you see how he has his diagram. I'm gonna see what app that is, and I want to make my own little diagram. You know what I'm saying? And kind of navigate how I want how I want, like, to kind of go with the marketing and stuff like that me and my brand manager, we can share. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely start a diagram. When I get done with mine, I'm gonna show y'all. I might even make a video on it and talk about it. I'll put it into play first. I'm gonna put it into play. I'm gonna this drop and put it to play, see what happens, see how much I make, and you know what I'm saying. And then yeah, but yeah, guys, shoot, like I said, bro, learning is like, you can never learn enough. I've been in the clothing brand space for around 6 years, bro. And I know y'all looking at me like, bro, what? We don't know you. I haven't blown up yet. You know what I'm saying? But ever since I was young, I've always wanted a clothing brand. I literally tried. I used to be on Big Cartel. I used to be on Big Cartel in the little free plan where you can only have 5 products. I used to be on there. I had my little Cricut printer. And I used to print out like little things, bro. I think I started like 11 or 12 clothing brands, and I started quit it. I had Asterisk, Sinclair, I had Rags Apparel. I have this one right now, Hustle Warfare, which is ongoing. But I had Opulent. That was more reselling. I had 7-7. What else I had? Nemesis. I had What else did I have? I'm trying to think. I had a couple more. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'll have to go on Shopify and look. But I had oh yeah, I had Glow Girl Shop. That was more for her though. That was like a her business. Um, what else did I have? I had dang, I can't think of it. I had some more, but that's 8 right there off the top of my head. I had like 2 to 3 more. I can't think of the names though, but yeah. Whole thing is, bro, the whole thing is that you gotta keep going, bro. It's not gonna happen overnight, especially with the clothing brand, bro. It's not gonna happen overnight, man. I don't even know if my next drop is really what's gonna blow me up. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sitting in front of y'all right now. Like I don't know which drop is I'm gonna blow. I may blow up off my 30th drop. You know what I'm saying? You never know. All I know is it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely gonna happen. So it is what it is, man. Oh, they doing. Sorry, I'm watching some. But yeah, man. So that's really it for the video, bro. W gems from that dude. W gems from this dude on the screen. I might add this little video on my thing to watch. Actually, now I think about it, he got some good videos. I'm gonna subscribe to him. Oh, it's already on there. But yeah, man. I'm gonna go ahead, edit all that, make my little accounts, stuff like that. And yeah, peace, guys.